and welcome to Unikron's Gaming. This is my first conversation with gamers of 2026. Rustled up a couple of my friends, Chowster and Jazz, aka the Jazz Father, to help me with this. Just a quick amendment before this, podcast gets going. I have to apologise for the sound quality as I only had two mics between the three of us. So please excuse the noise or interference when we're passing over the mics. I'll try to get better mics in the future. Chowster did keep on lowering the mic when he was holding it, so he may sound distant at times. Also, just to correct a couple of other things, in this podcast, I did mention that my wife played Sonic and she used Tales to Fly over most of the level. I meant to say that was the Game Boy Advance and she was playing Sonic Advance, not Sonic on the DS. I made it sound like my birthday was in November, when my birthday's in December. I don't know why it sounded like that. My birthday is a few days away from Christmas, so therefore I had to complete Sonic 2 quickly before I got World War on the SNES. Whatever things did I say? A game that we forgot the name of was Sonic Superstars. And that was within the reference that it got released between a 7-day period on, what was it? I think Spider-Man 2 on the PlayStation 5 and also Super Mario Wonder on the Switch. Yeah, Sonic Superstars got released in between that period. And one last thing, I said there's a racing game that Sonic was hanging down from the rear windscreen mirror, and that was Sega's Radmobile. So I think that's about it, really. Cheers. Hello and welcome to Unikron's Gaming. Today's video is all about Sonic the Hedgehog and why we like it. I've got a couple people with me, special guests. First of all, we've got Chowster. Say hello, Chowster.
Hello, everyone.
Okay, fair enough. And we've got Jazz.
What's going on? Hello.
I thought he was going to say something about bitches and what have you, but okay, fair enough. And by the way,
hello to my bitches.
Okay, great. Anyway, and
my hoes. Can't forget about my hoes.
Okay, that's great. We've had bitches and hoes and Chowster's terrible Ryu. Second best Ryu in the world. Yeah, great. Okay. Okay, so first up, obviously Sonic Hedgehog is a great game, especially the 16-bit versions, which is where I started playing them. But I want to talk about what attracted you to Sonic the Hedgehog. So I'm going to give this first to Chowster and Jazz.
Okay, Sonic the Hedgehog. Okay, let's put myself back in that. How old was I? 10 when the Mega Drive was out.
Is that all?
Yeah. But I'd moved on at that point from the Master System, and seeing Sonic for the first time. I mean, it was a massive jump anyway from the 8-bit days to 16-bit. But I mean, the adverts were there. Yeah, it was a game that I was incredibly hyped for. I wanted that machine, but when Sonic came out, it was it just made you wanted the machine for the arcade games, but when Sonic came out, it wasn't an arcade game. Sonic, it was a system seller. Is the easiest way to kind of put it. It was a system seller. Would you agree?
I'd agree. Sonic first came out when I was still in school, and I remember everyone going crazy for it. But at the time, I only had an Amstrad CPC 464, so there was no Sonic on that. Definitely not. And
sorry, Mark. Commiserations.
That's all right.
CPC 464.
It
was all about the Commodore 64, but I digress.
It wasn't. It wasn't. It was all about Amstrad. No, that was another war before the Sega Nintendo war. But Amstrad, I believe, won that war. We won the battle as well. So,
of the green screen. In fact,
no, I didn't have a green screen. I had a color screen.
Wow.
Sorry for anyone that had a green screen.
Commiserations. But back to Sonic. As I was saying, it came out when I was in school, and I played it at my friend's house after school one day. I believe, I think he had it. No, it wasn't Sonic. It was Mickey Mouse. Anyway, I digress. Eventually, after hounding my dad for years for a Mega Drive, I got one Christmas '93, and I was so happy. I ran upstairs to Unikron's flat because he used to live above me in the tower blocks. I was like, I got a Mega Drive. He's like, you better come in. And he just showed me all these games. And Sonic 2 was one of the games that I actually played. So in fact, I played Sonic 2 before I played Sonic 1. And then I played Sonic 3.
Okay, for me, I think I was the third year in secondary school. I don't know how old I was. Was that being like 14 years old or something like that? I think I saw it in, was it? At that time, I think the magazine might be in C plus VG. Yeah, and they just had it in the coming soon. And it was like the Mario quote unquote killer.
Mm.
And I was like, oh my God. And everyone at school was talking about it because obviously no one owned a NES. The SNES wasn't out in the UK anyway. And no one bothered with great imports back then. It was whatever you could get from Dixon's and your parents got you. Or if you were lucky, was it in North London, was it Chicanas?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I saw it in magazines and finally got it, and it actually lived up to the hype. I think it got 97% in some magazines. The lowest I ever saw it get was like 91. But yeah, that blue hedgehog, and he had attitude. I just remember he was just cool and he was fast. I'm just like, yeah, this game is for me. So it was Sonic 1. That was what attracted me to Sonic. It was Sonic 1 on the Sega Mega Drive. And for my brother, it was Sonic 1, I'm going to say on the Game Gear and on the Mega Drive. And my cousin, it was Sonic 1 on his Master System. But he got it, I think, a bit before us. I think it came out on the Master System beforehand. So yeah, so that's what attracted all of us to Sonic the Hedgehog. Okay, so now we're going to talk about audio. So anything to do with the sound of any of the Sonics that you like. So I'll give up to you guys to kick off.
Okay. Sound, music, Sonic, excellent. In fact, that can be said about all of them. I don't think there's a bad Sonic game when it comes to audio. At least certainly not on the Mega Drive. But yeah, if I go back to the original one, just starting off with the sounds of the stars at the beginning, and Sonic appearing, you've got that music, you've got the Green Hill Zone playing. I mean, straight away you're like, I mean, it was such an upgrade from, as I said, I got to the Mega Drive directly from the Master System, and you get, the presentation, the music, the sound effects. I don't know. There's some standout kind of tracks, especially through all of them. Don't know. You got any that you want to?
No, I agree. I remember when I first put in Sonic 2, as I said, when I borrowed it from Unikronn, and I was just blown away by the music, the sound. I haven't got any complaints about it whatsoever. And then Sonic 3, is it Sonic 3 Michael Jackson got involved?
Michael Jackson did some stuff. I don't know exactly the story. There was two stories going around. Either one, because it was around the time of the charges that he was, the
allegations.
Stuff, the allegations.
Yeah.
And then there was another rumor saying he didn't want to be credited because he wasn't happy with how it sounded. I don't know which one's true. I haven't really kind of looked into it, but regardless, he wasn't credited in it. There was no credit there, but apparently he did. I don't to what extent we don't know. How big of what exactly he done.
Yeah.
But Sonic 3 certainly has a different feel in terms of the music.
Definitely.
There are I've seen videos on YouTube where people will compare it to some of Michael Jackson's stuff.
Bobby Brown as well.
Yeah, but it definitely had that 90s. I mean, all of them. But I think Sonic 3 kind of encompassed that more than some of the games that came before it. In terms of tracks, I mean, I can start, especially Sonic 1 and 2, probably the games that I know the best in terms of the music. You kind of listen to a track on those games, you know exactly what
Yeah.
level it is. I go to Sonic 1 and I hear something like, Starlight Zone,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like, I'm 11 years old again, or
Right,
10,
I hear that.
whichever one I was.
Yeah.
It takes me back to,
Yeah.
that kind of thing. I just, the sound effects that, the way that it speeds up when you get the fast boots,
Yep.
the sound that, that makes breaking the television, the invincibility sound, the stars, I think it just works so well.
I agree. I've got nothing more to add to that.
Okay, so I'll add my 2 pence. For me, I think it started literally as the game starts, and you see the big blue Sega, and it actually comes along and says Sega. If people did miss the adverts at the time, we just used to call it Sega until you saw the adverts. But Sonic just turned around and said, "Oh, this is how you pronounce Sega." I said, "Oh," because for the longest time I was calling it Sega. It was a Sega Mega Drive. And I did not know it was Sega. I still don't know how it's supposed to be Sega anyway. But anyway, that was one of the first things. And then the little stars and the glints, and when you hear that, just before the music kicks in, you see Sonic jump up there on his and it says Sonic the Hedgehog on the intro. And then even on the demo, this leads into Green Hill Zone. And that music, I mean, there's a reason why I think almost every other Sonic game apart from Sonic 2 has Green Hill Zone in it at some point. It's like Mario with, is it Mushroom Kingdom? It's how Mario starts. It's always a Mushroom Kingdom, I believe, at the start. I think Sonic's the same thing. It's just there. So for me, Sonic 1, I think, even if it's remix, I know all the tunes off that. If someone played this, I don't know, 5-second clip, I would know it's Sonic for me. So yeah, Sonic 2's got my favorite music in there. So I do like, especially Metropolis and Chemical Plant. I mean, I don't think you can get better than Chemical Plant, personally for me. But yeah, Sonic 1 was just, I think everyone knows that game back to front, if that was the first game we started on. And at least Sonic 2. Special shout out to the 8-bit versions of Sonic Hedgehog. I think the Master System Sonic 1 is really good. Especially as the Master System, to me, the sound is crap on that system. It's all bleeps and blops. But Sonic did sound good. So it's Sonic, Shinobi, and I think a couple of other games that sounded really good in it, but not too many. But yeah, for me, I would say the music is a big high point. And even the sound effects, like when he jumps, when he bounces, that's pretty cool. When he bounces off of something, when he hits the TV screens. I mean, what else is there? Mario has the invincibility star, and we all know that music, and it's in Mario Kart as well. Sonic, when he gets his stars, everyone knows what that is. Oh, right, you're invincible. But they didn't. In Sonic 3, it's different, isn't it? Yeah, they changed it. Yeah,
and that's one of the. If I'm talking about weaker, some of the weaker music in Sonic, that one really does grate me, because I think it was so spot on.
Yeah,
1 and 2, it was just. But,
even Sonic 2, I know they changed it, but
they did change it.
But Sonic 3, this wasn't as, he's invincible now. It was just like, put it this way, I can't really remember what it sounds like in Sonic 3, but I can remember Sonic 1 and 2. It's one of those things. And also, I think Sonic 3, I didn't like the boss theme. I think the boss theme was better in Sonic 1 and 2 for Robotnik. And by the way, he's called Robotnik, not Eggman. Fuck you and your Eggman.
Always,
So for me, it's just, I just think there was no weak point in Sonic 1. Really. Even when you died, that sound was annoying, but there was no weak sound effects in Sonic 1. Sonic 2, I think the oil plant is not exactly the greatest when it comes to sound, but it is what it is. So yeah, that would be audio, really. Okay, and now for this section, we're going to talk about the visuals. So, anything to do with art style, sprite work, backgrounds, parallax scrolling, you name it, whatever Sonic has that visually appeals to you or that you just don't like. So, once again, Chowster and Jazz first.
Graphically, all the Sonic games. Well, I keep using the term "all the Sonic games" so loosely. I mainly mean the Mega Drive stuff. which are the games that I love. Visually, all of those are stunning. There are differences, and there is, it does show progress as you go through them. 1, 2, and 3. 1 being the simpler of the 3. Sonic himself as a sprite changes slightly, very noticeable in Sonic 3. Although Sonic 3, I think, definitely has, when it comes to the graphics on that, I'd probably rate that as the
Over Sonic 2.
over Sonic 2.
I agree.
Just because there's so much going on, and not only that. I mean, they threw all of that into Sonic 3. A lot of the there's just a lot more going on graphically in that game. I said, so which is weird, although Sonic may not look his best, I think him as a sprite probably look best in Sonic 2. None of them are bad. Master System ones, yeah. So I saw the Master System games not many years later. I saw them during the Mega Drive time, but it was always a case of, to me, it wasn't very appealing. But that's not fair, because I was coming, it was such a downgrade from the Mega Drive version. If I had a Master System, I would have been all over it, because it was Sonic.
Okay.
Sonic at the time was, but yeah, obviously visually, the Master System did. The Master System, I just didn't think he looked particularly good in that game. Looked better in the is it Sonic Chaos? Was that the last one on the Master System? Sonic Chaos.
Yeah.
Anything?
Yeah, I agree. I never played Sonic on the Master System, funny enough. I just got a Mega Drive for Christmas, as I said, and the first Sonic game I actually played was Sonic 2. So, in regards to the Master System, I can't relate because I never played them.
Definitely. I mean, I'm just trying to think of some of the standout levels. We kind of spoke earlier about it, but I think is there a
Well,
lost my train of thought.
okay, fair enough. Now I was gonna say, if you're talking Sonic 1, Starlight Zone's pretty good because there's a lot of parallel scrolling there.
Love your parallel scrolling, don't you?
Oh yeah, you got 16-bit graphics.
But is there a video that you've released that you don't mention parallel scrolling?
No,
It's just your thing, innit?
No,
Anyway,
I
go
don't,
on.
yeah, no, there isn't. Yeah, so we got that. That's really good. Green Hill Zone is it looks basic, but when you look at it, actually isn't, because you can mess up that game with all those checkerboards, but it actually still looks good. So that's great. What's the one? Is it Casino on Sonic 1? With all the bouncing bits.
Oh God, there's a few throughout.
Yeah, I think it's Casinos.
Yeah.
Is it Casino? Yeah.
Yeah, I get mixed up which levels are what now.
That looks good. I mean, it's not the greatest level to play. It's probably one of the weaker ones. But and then what's the one with the lava? The second zone.
Oh, that's Marble Zone.
Marble Zone. Yeah, Marble Zone. Looks plain, but it's weird because it comes second and it's a screeching hole. You can't run fast, but the level doesn't actually look too bad to me. So yeah, that's okay. The fun is what's the final one? The metal one, just before you fight Robotnik and Sonic.
Heat Zone?
Scrap something or whatever.
Yeah.
If it isn't, so someone's going to correct us. How do you not know what Sonic is? Shut your effing mouth. Anyway, but the fact is, that one's really nice, and the music on that one's kick-ass as well, even though done with audio. But I do like that. You can run fast again. I'll give a shout out to the Game Boy Advance versions. They got the look of the newer Sonic, but in 2D. I don't like his animation for his running. It's missing that momentum to me, and I don't know. It's his head just looks too big. I don't know. He just doesn't look good running fast. I know his legs are a blur, but something's just a bit off of it. But I appreciate them for trying a new graphical 2D style for Sonic. Is it advanced ones? I've only played one of the DS Sonic games, and I know it went across two screens, but he was polygon, I think, in that version. Yeah. So, but yeah, for the sprite work, Sonic 2 is my favorite sprite. And Chelsea, you are right. Sonic 3 has a lot more going on. I know it was a bit of slowdown in some of the stuff,
There
but
is, yeah.
the shields, they just expanded on that, and they look great. They're not just a shield for the sake of a shield. So I do like the fact that the fire one, the bubble, they all look really nice. Yeah, the magnet one, yeah. All that stuff is nice. A ton of variety in enemies in Sonic 3. I can't really talk for Sonic and Knuckles. They've only played like 4 levels of that, or 3 levels. But I do know that Sonic 3 is just busier. My favorite is probably Sonic 2, but that's nostalgia talking. But I can appreciate what Sonic 3 does for me. Anything else?
One Sonic game that I think we've overlooked is Sonic Generations, because I got that on the PS3. However, I only did like the 2D Sonic levels. I wasn't really a fan of the 3D Sonic, but even the Green Hill Zone on Sonic Generations I really enjoyed from memory. But I haven't played it recently.
That Marble Zone that you mentioned, I used to hate that as a kid. But as I got older, it really, I don't know, the music, it is weird in that it's Sonic, right? The way that the advertising was, it was all about running fast, going fast. You couldn't do that in Marble Zone, and the music made you know that, because it was, you know, it was slow. It was, and there was a lot of waiting, because you'd wait for a block to come from one bit. You have to jump on that. You have to kind of. It was very. In fact, yeah, it almost turned it into, you know, because you couldn't go fast no matter how. You know, and because you couldn't see, because they used to put enemies just outside the screen, and
it was really weird, and that's what I'm saying. It was odd as a second zone. It was just like you got Green Hill where you can near enough run flat out, and then Marvel was just like, no, stop. But like you said, there was like an audio cue. The music was slower, and as soon as you start running, I think the first part of Marvel Zone, the very first like 30 seconds, you're running over, and you know those little hills, and then when you land on them,
it catches fire.
So you jump, thinking, okay,
lava.
And as soon as you go on the ground, that's it. There's no more speed for you, because everything, like you said, there's just so much stuff there to hit you. And what are those enemies? I don't know what they're called, but the caterpillars.
Oh yeah, you've got
you got to hit them in the head. You got to spin, head. Saying that though, that's one thing I forgot. The enemies, the sprites for the enemies, they're really motherfucker. I'm being called. Yeah, okay. The enemies, I really like the fact that once you hit them, you free them. And they were all, because he turned them into basically like little robots, or robotniks, I think it was called, but they're like little Terminators, isn't it? And then you basically, they were all your friends, you had to free them. So I like that, but especially Sonic 3, because it had a mad variety of enemies. Sonic 2 obviously had more than Sonic 1, but yeah, so you had crabs, birdies, and stuff like that, and they turn into rabbits and what have you. Yeah,
but you know what? It's a good point regarding the sound cues, the music. You know, I mean that game. What was the level? I don't know what level it was before Starlight Zone. But Starlight Zone and the music was really, really chill. You know, and it felt like that type of level. You couldn't go too fast.
What, Starlight level?
Starlight Zone, yeah. You couldn't go too fast, and you had the bits. You were mainly, from memory, there's many bombs that you had to deal with.
Bombs,
that you had to kind of deal with,
and you had those seesaw things.
And the bits where you could jump off to your death.
Yeah, and the fans. They wouldn't let you kind of thing, go past.
Again, you know, different mechanics, stuff that it played with that momentum based, you know, that they had going on, mechanic that they had going on in the in the game. But the music again was chill and relaxing in a way, as far as the Sonic. I'd love to know. I just can't remember what the zone was before it and what came after it, because maybe it was just preparing.
What came after it was the scrap heap one.
That's
second to last year. That's
Which
what came after.
Yeah, that was definitely not a level that you could chill on.
No,
maybe it was quite a nice slow down pace before.
The tiny bit of the labyrinth thing that was well for Act 4. We had to get back up to Robotnik, because he drops you in it. Yeah. But okay, since you talk about momentum, that's going to go into like fun facts and playability. So we might as well talk about that next. Okay, as I just stated, now we can talk about the playability of any of the Sonic games that we want to. So yeah, once again, Chowster and Jazz will lead off, and I shall follow.
Fun factor. Okay. I'm probably gonna again say Sonic 3. Just because of the everything they added to the game. You touched on it earlier. The different shields that you can get, which really did add, I think, to the playability. Everyone wanted the fire one, right?
Yeah, that was my favorite one.
Yeah, you just dash across.
Yeah, they added a lot more than two.
It's,
Two was just one shield.
Yeah,
two was one shield. Two, it was very, very good as well. But I think for fun factor, just because of what they added, I haven't even touched on the 2-player. I don't know how much 2-player you guys played on.
Yeah.
2-player obviously was introduced in Sonic 2, which was crazy at the time.
It
But then
helped.
to see the Sonic 3 and what they've done with that.
Yeah.
So Sonic 3 gave you. So I think Sonic 2 used the existing levels. It did a few of them, and you would end up in a situation where everything was kind of squashed. Yeah. Sonic 3, from memory, wasn't as squashed, but they had dedicated levels, so it wasn't. I can't remember how many there were, but they were dedicated.
Was
levels.
it like Sonic 2? Because Sonic 2, basically the 2-player mode
It
was basically a race.
Yeah.
From one point to another.
It was still a race.
Okay.
I mean, you had different kind of things. You had,
but they had
I remember
their
there
own-
being 3 modes. I've got to say, I can't remember exactly what they were. You could do time trials as well. Could you do that in Sonic 2? You could.
No, Sonic 2, basically what it boiled down to, there was a few stages, I think it was select stages where you could race, obviously Sonic and Tails, to a point. And it was very, I'm going to say squashed because obviously I played it PAL.
Yeah.
So we had the big borders, top and bottom. And so when it was squashed, Jesus, it was really squashed.
And that's my memory of it, because I don't think I ever played a 2-player since the 90s.
No, and then obviously technically you could go through the game. Someone with a second controller could be Tails and help you, like lift you up with the helicopter stuff, but you couldn't. My brother would do that, especially in the bonus stage, but you couldn't go off as Tails and do anything, because once you went off screen, that was it. If you could do so that was that, but I didn't. And it was invincible as well. Oh yeah, Tails was invincible. So that was almost like a little cheat code, because you could hit the bosses and stuff. So it was almost like an easy mode. So that was, I forgot about that. So that was cool.
He wouldn't die unless you died. Then
Yeah.
he would die. And also, my sister, I used to get her to join in. So whenever I was stuck, I'd get her to fly me across the stage, because there'll be levels I'd just be stuck. And Tails came in very handy for things like that.
The joke is, I got Sonic 2. I think it came out. It was Sonic Tuesday, November the 2nd.
Oh wow.
I think it's November the 2nd. The 2nd of November 1992, I believe it is, about a year after the first one. And I got it, but I know I had to beat, because that Christmas I think I was getting World War on the SNES.
Oh
yeah. So I knew on Christmas Day I was going to play World Warrior.
Yeah.
But so Sonic 2, because I knew it was going to be good, but I didn't know it was going to be that good. So when I started playing it, I got home. I went out with my father, and he bought it for me.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so I got home a bit late. My brother was already in bed, because he obviously was like 6 and a bit years younger than me.
Yeah.
And then so I started playing it, because my mum was like, it's technically still your birthday. You stay up and play it. And that's the first time I remember doing an all-nighter for a game. I didn't go to bed until I beat it.
Are you serious?
I did not stop.
In one night?
In one night. And then, I had big bags under my eyes and stuff, even though I was young and fresh. I didn't do that before. I think I had a little bit of hand cramp. So, yeah.
Can I just mention, obviously, for maybe if some of the younger kids are watching this, when we turned off a machine back in the day, it was off.
Yeah,
there was no save. There was no save.
No battery backup.
I totally get why you stood up. Why you stayed up.
Yeah, I stayed up and played the whole thing, because my mum wasn't allowing me just to leave the TV and the Mega Drive on.
Did we even know back then how many zones there were?
No.
Yeah, we wouldn't have known any of that.
All
you would have known is that you've been playing it for hours.
You'd been struggling, that would have been it, and turn it off. So I stayed up. I think I got to bed early hours of the morning. Then I finally went to bed, woke up on like the 23rd at Chowster doing it, and my brother was like, "Oh, we've got Sonic 2. You did get it. And I said, yeah. And I told him all about the game. And he was like, wait, you beat it? And I was like, yeah. And he's like, what? Because what time did you come to bed? I was like, I don't even know. And it's not, I had a headache. My head was pounding. And then he played it and he was loving it. And I was saying, no, you need to, that boss is going to do this there. You know, you're just sort of coaching him.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I think it was, I know before Christmas, we got Supersonic. And bearing in mind, magazines didn't tell you this stuff.
Okay.
I just thought, okay, let's go for the Chaos Emeralds. And when I was playing one player by myself, Tails kept on getting hit in the bonus stage.
Right.
And then I got my brother to control Tails, and we did it. We got all 6 Chaos Emeralds. Next stage, I don't know what the next stage was, but I just know the next stage after I got Chaos Emeralds, I got 50. I didn't know I got 50 rings. I just know I got a certain amount of rings. And as you do, you just jump in.
Yeah.
And he changed. And bearing in mind, we didn't know what Dragon Ball Z was. It was like a Dragon Ball Z moment where Goku goes Super Saiyan. He jumped up, he changed yellow, and my brother went crazy. He was going mad. What the hell is that? I was going mad. What the hell is that? And I was running through stuff, and I was like, wait, I'm invincible. And look at the speed of this guy. I was like, this is crazy. And then we noticed that the rings were counting down. So yeah, that's what I'm saying. Magazines didn't tell you nothing. This was just,
I remember the first time I turned into Supersonic.
Crazy.
But this is another Sonic 3 thing, which I really liked, because obviously they refined it a bit. Because in Sonic 3, you had the invincibility shield where he jumped twice at the peak. Yeah. And that's how you would turn to Supersonic. So you could have your 50 rings and just jump as normal. But as soon as you press it a second time, you turn into Supersonic. And I just thought, it's just little things like that, little refinements that really made that I felt that just kind of made Sonic 3, even though I wasn't falling out. I don't want to use the term falling out of love with Sonic, but things were moving on by the time Sonic 3 had come out.
See, for me, I didn't get to Sonic 3. I only played that. Was it this
Did
year?
you play at my house at the time? Or
A little bit. No, you brought it around.
Oh,
I'd moved, and you brought it around.
All right.
But at that point, I was full on Street Fighter.
Yeah.
Champion Edition and Turbo had taken over my life. I borrowed a couple games for the SNES here and there, but all I did was play that. So even when I saw Sonic 3, I was like, it's cool.
Yeah.
But it didn't have that magic for me, simply because, to be honest, no game had that magic. All I knew was challenges on the arcade and practice at home. That's all I knew from 92-ish to probably 97-ish. It was Street Fighter first and all other games came second. That's all I knew.
That sounds about right, because I remember meeting you in 93.
Yeah. And it was
in the arcades.
Yeah, it was the chip shop, and it was Champion Edition.
Yeah, because I was playing it, and we had a mutual friend. I think he was playing Samurai Showdown 2 on another arcade machine, and you walked to the chip shop.
Yeah.
And then you said hello to our mutual friend. Bearing in mind, I didn't know Unikronn at this point. I knew who he was. As I said, we lived in the same tower block. Always seen him around growing up, but never knew him to speak to.
Which was odd, because we knew everybody else.
Yeah.
Except me, you just didn't bother speaking.
Yeah.
Which didn't make sense.
Whatever reason. Not that he was my enemy, just that
just
nothing, prompted us to talk
schools,
to each other.
Yeah, but we knew all the same people. And
so,
what's the guy called?
Anthony.
Anthony, yeah.
Shout out to Anthony.
Even though this is Sonic, but we'll digress.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
he asked me if I knew you.
Yeah.
And I said, no. I said, I know who he is. And he goes, yeah, he's really good at Street Fighter. He was up in the lift one day. So I think I'd already made a mental note from that conversation.
Oh, okay.
That he's meant to be good. Hence why when you came over, my first words to you were, I heard you're good at Street Fighter. And then you replied, I'm okay. So I said, challenge. And then he put down his bag. I took him off, he picked Guile.
People thought we was going to fight.
Yeah. He put down his bag, he picked Guile. I remember that. And I was champion colours Ryu. Took him off. I thought, this boy's rubbish. I can't remember if you took off your coat. You took off some additional stuff. You challenged again.
Because I didn't take it seriously. I did take off my rucksack. I had a portfolio on me.
Yeah, that was it.
Yeah, so I took off the rucksack. I always remember that first thing that you said. I threw it first round. It goes round one fight, and I threw a sonic boom, and you hurricane gets over, and you knocked me down, and you looked at me, and you went, typical girl user.
I don't remember saying that, but sounds like me.
You looked me dead in the face. Obviously, we were both on one
machine. The first
machine.
thing they're going to do.
Yeah, and I was like, okay. And then when I put in my next credit and I came on, you threw a fireball. No, you even threw a fireball hurricane kick. And I did a light somersault kick. Yeah. And looked at you, I went, typical Ryu user.
Yeah. And then he took me off. And then I took off my rucksack. And then Yeah, next I was in your house.
Yeah,
Surprisingly,
all
and
history.
just playing Street Fighter. Yeah, that's the war never ended.
Yeah, but and
We
then
digress.
unfortunately it came along Chowster when it comes to that nonsense and his Ryu, which is just teeth. But oh yeah, go on, Chelsea. You want to say something?
Yeah. Back to Sonic. Come
Yeah.
on. Yeah. We'll save Street Fighter for another discussion. Yeah. I mean, just want to mention. Obviously, I keep talking Sonic 3, but I'm only talking about half the game. You know,
Sonic and Knuckles.
Yeah. Which isn't a game that I played much of, but I did have a friend who did have it and did borrow it off. But just how, you know, and I to give you an idea of how big this Sonic game was.
They had to cut it in half, basically, didn't they?
Cut the game in half. So the end of number 3, you're left on a cliffhanger.
Oh, it's still.
Yeah, it doesn't.
Oh yeah.
You're left on a cliffhanger.
Yeah, you are. Yeah.
So you kind of need.
It gives you like a soft ending.
Yeah.
So it gives you technically an ending,
they ran
but it's
out of
not.
time.
Yeah.
And then a few months later.
Was that the first time in console history, especially in the UK anyway, that you had to connect another cartridge to see the full game? Because
were there lock-on cartridges? I think was there any on the Mega Drive previously?
You couldn't. Could you buy Sonic and Knuckles separately? You couldn't you?
We could buy them separately. Yeah. I had Sonic 3. Sonic came out.
Yeah, but you wouldn't play the Sonic 3 levels if you didn't have it. You would just play from Sonic and Knuckles, innit? So you wouldn't get the full experience.
If you only had Sonic and Knuckles, you would start from
where Sonic 3 ended,
like the mushroom.
Yeah, where
I can't remember what it's called. Yeah,
but you wouldn't play the stuff that was in Sonic 3, would you? So you had to have both games to get the full. That showed that game was massive, and I think that's the first time because Sonic and Knuckles you could connect to Sonic 2,
Sonic and Knuckles 2 and Sonic 1.
Yeah, Sonic 1 you couldn't see too much though. It wasn't weird.
Knuckles,
but Sonic 2 you could play as Knuckles in throughout the whole of Sonic 2. But Sonic 1, Sonic 1 he didn't do too much. I think it was just too old. They wasn't really thinking about it. But the fact is, that was the first time I'd ever seen anything like that. And I don't think even after that, because we went to CDs after that anyway, game saves and memory cards. So they didn't have to do that. They could say, okay, we will read your memory card and stuff like that. But that was the first time ever. Did Sonic and Knuckles have battery backup?
I think
it could. No, so what you could do, you could save the game on it, but it actually was I think it had a chip, like a RAM chip.
Okay, that's where it saved. Yeah,
it would store. So it had. Let's call it battery backup. That's the thing. In fact, it was exactly the same Sonic Mania. I know we haven't kind of touched on that yet. I know that you do want to touch on that, and I think you should. Yeah. It looked Sonic 3. It was exactly the same layout.
Oh, okay, right.
A lot of nostalgia in that.
So cause I was gonna say, because if it was that big, it would have been way too big to play in one go. No one would have had the time, so they would have had to have some sort of save functionality there.
Yeah, it's a very, very big game. I remember by the time I got hold of it, I'd already gone through all the save slots.
Oh wow!
Was supersonic in all of them.
So you would have had to delete one then to play Sonic or Knuckles?
No, you continue.
Oh!
You continue the game. Now, this is where my memory lets me down. I can't remember if when you continue a save game with supersonic, if you continue, I imagine you would. But I just can't. I can't remember because I've only played.
Yeah, I know you told me, but
I think I might have had supersonic as well as because I've already got all the KSM rules. I'm already supersonic. The game is continuing.
Did you ever become whatever that white version of him was?
No,
hypersonic.
No, I only found that out in the grand scheme of things only recently. But it was, a few years ago.
About a couple of years ago, and I looked up on YouTube, and it was a thing. And I saw, and I was like,
"Yeah, no, I never got." So you know what? So that kind of what would have happened then. You started the new Sonic. You started Sonic and Knuckles after finishing number 3.
You had to have had all the Chaos Emeralds beforehand,
and then there must have been, let's say, a level beyond.
Yeah.
You know, to quote Dragon Ball.
From what I saw on YouTube, obviously I can be wrong because only from what I saw, I never played it myself. You would have to have the Chaos Emeralds from Sonic 3, all of them, and then you got some Super Emerald. It allowed you to get into Super. So how would you have done it if you only had Sonic and Knuckles? You couldn't have done it then. You could have been Supersonic, but you might not have been able to.
Sonic. So being Supersonic is Supersonic.
Yeah.
So this new, this upgraded version, you would have had to have the second cartridge. You would have.
You would have had to. It's almost like a bonus for buying the first.
Yeah. But I didn't know. Again, I didn't know about this. This is stuff that weren't in.
Wikipedia wasn't around. Internet wasn't like that.
I mean, the things. Yeah, I don't think I ever read the instruction manual of Sonic and Knuckles. So I don't know if it would have been in there or if anything would have been there. A lot of this stuff is kept behind.
We would have heard because
I mean now it would be DLC, right?
Yeah. You'd have to pay for that.
They wouldn't be giving you that, but the hype. I mean, I remember But even turning to, going back to Sonic 2, like you said, Jazz, I didn't. Sonic 2 wasn't a game that I was able to complete with all the emeralds and everything straight as a straight through playthrough.
Yeah.
So I used the cheat in order to get myself to 50. I think you could turn yourself into a
TV.
ring box or something,
Okay.
and create your 50 rings and then jump.
Oh yeah.
I remember this, and I found this cheat out a little while after I'd had the game, and it just added a whole new life again to the game. So I ended up playing
and
the game.
stage select as well, because let's face it,
You just run through, and
not everyone wanted to run through the whole game, so having a stage select was a bonus. Even though
but you could still die as Super Sonic because you could fall off, right?
Yeah.
And you just see this. It was always kind of
because
weird
sometimes he could get to places that you wasn't supposed to get because he was so
his
fast.
jump was ridiculous.
Yeah, so if you run out of
jump
rings,
was
you turn back into normal, then you just die.
Yeah.
Or you just go off screen and go boom. Anything else you want to say on fun fact, or are you done?
I just the game's just I mean, the game's just incredibly fun, isn't it?
Yeah. Okay, we'll move on to the next section then. Okay, for this section, it's more freestyle, so this is realistically anything to do with Sonic, whether it be a favorite game, favorite games, a cameo, him not being in a game which he should have been in, anything like that. So once again, I'll let Chowster and Jazz start off.
Right, yeah. Okay, so the move to Nintendo.
That annoyed me.
Sadly.
Yeah.
That was surreal. I remember. I mean, this is probably why I didn't. Just principle. I never played the Game Boy Advance stuff. I mean, it was like it was horrible. So I don't think he should have been in any of those machines.
No.
But I did, as I got older, I bought a Nintendo. What was it, like 3DS?
DS.
The DS. That's right, the DS. And as part of that, I bought myself Sonic Rush.
Oh yeah, yes.
Okay.
And that was the first Sonic game I would have played. That was the first Nintendo one I played, and about that would also been the first Sonic game that I think I played after the 16-bit ones. Dreamcast, was the Dreamcast out then? But I never played those. Yeah, I never played
it.
Sonic Adventure stuff.
I did
But,
on the Dreamcast.
but yeah, I really liked Sonic Rush. It was a different, he had obviously different moves. I can't remember too much about it because I went through it once and then that was it. I remember it being very fast, not many enemies, or they were very easy to defeat.
Is that?
It went through the two screens, so it went from.
Did he have
again, it was a nice mechanic.
you know what, that crappy Sonic game, Sonic 4, even though it was in part 1 and 2, he had that focus attack. When the target. The target.
Yeah, he had. From memory,
was that in the DS one?
Did
that come in the DS one?
Some stuff.
Yeah,
memory on that game is so,
it came from.
just remember really.
Yeah, because it came from the proper 3D ones, but I know they put it in some of the 2D ones, but I can't remember if he had it on the DS version.
I know we had some certain things.
Some
that made
targeting.
things, but yeah, I mean, I really enjoyed that game.
I think it's your version that I played, because I said I played one Sonic on the DS. I think it was Sonic Rush.
Really,
because it wasn't my wife's one. I know she played the 2 versions on the DS. She quote unquote play, because she picked Tails and she flew through most of the level and had trouble on the bosses. She didn't really play them. She goes, why am I gonna run when I can just fly? And then wait till he wasn't tired again and start flying again. Yeah, and I'm just like, that's not really the point. But hey, she did. That's how she played the advanced versions of Sonic on the DS.
It was a good game, but yeah, no. So I even today, I still don't feel. I mean, I'm over it now, the Nintendo thing. But the thing is, it's like
How do you feel?
It's like the Xbox games that are coming on the PlayStation.
Yeah.
Right?
How do you feel when people say, for that. When say, for example, Sonic comes out and they say, "Oh, yeah, I'm going to get it on the Switch because it's a better fit for that." That sort of riles me. I'm like, shut your mouth. How's it a perfect fit? It should never have ever been on that. But that's the Sega fanboy in me. I could never get used to that.
No. Keep that energy up, because how many times have you seen a? You see it all the time, right? I like. The Sonic games are really good. They're really good, you know. They're really good. This coming from Nintendo. They're really good games. Yeah, I know. They're my games. You know, they're mine. You shouldn't have access to that. If you want to buy a Mega Drive, right?
Yeah.
Buy a Sega console. But no, it was. That's how it was back then. It was like, leave me alone.
Yeah, it was.
It was,
Sega and Nintendo was in the playground.
Yeah, I mean, obviously,
Yeah.
I don't care for it now and whatnot. But when I have to remind myself when I see the console wars now, and I go on the forums and I see Xbox fans going on about Halo and whatnot coming to PlayStation, or you see PlayStation. Oh, we're getting these games, Forza Horizon, whatever.
Yeah,
Basically, no more exclusives on Xbox. And then you see some people get really, really upset, really annoyed. I have to remind myself, I was one of them. I was one of them back in the day.
Yeah, look at the day when we all found out from the magazines when the Dreamcast was done.
I've read an article. It was in. I think it was the
I read it in Sega Power.
I was reading one of the newspapers.
I didn't know it was coming.
Like, I'm thinking
Dreamcast is done, and they're going to go third
a year
party.
ago.
And then there was like, obviously I didn't know what third party meant.
Yeah.
Even though technically I did, but I didn't know what it meant for Sega. And then when they said, "Oh, that means that Sega games Sonic will be on PlayStation," I was like, "Excuse me, what do you mean Sonic's on Play?" I was like, "No, that's just." Because even though I didn't have a Dreamcast, I still wanted it to be a Dreamcast. I was like, I just haven't bought one yet.
Dreamcast was fantastic.
And I was just like, what the hell? And also, since we're talking about Sonic, the fact that Sonic was not properly on the Saturn was ridiculous to me. I was like, there was no Streets of Rage, there was no Sonic. Okay, technically there was a Shinobi.
Golden Axe.
No, there wasn't a Golden. No,
Beast.
okay, I don't think there was a Golden Axe game on the Saturn, but not that one that people knew of. Anyway, but yeah, I was just like, you're missing all your big hitters. So if I'm coming from a Mega Drive, I want the big bad bolder sequels, and there wasn't like a proper Sonic. I mean, I would have taken a 2.5D Sonic, or a sprite based Sonic, but just crazy sprite scaling and just go crazy with it and all that type of stuff, but it just wasn't.
But you saw what they did with the Mega Drive. I mean, did you ever play the 3D one that came out on the Mega Drive?
Yeah,
was it called Sonic 3D?
Yeah, I played it in a compilation.
3D. Yeah, there was a Sonic 3D.
There is a 3D, but it's more of an isometric thing.
Isometric. Yes, that's right.
Yeah.
I mean, I just don't think I would have enjoyed something like that.
Well, even then, I think that wasn't a proper Sonic. It was just like, oh, I don't know, but it wasn't pushed, it wasn't advertised, so I don't think they had stuff behind it. But to show you how big Sonic still was, he's in the mountainside of Daytona, USA, on the first oval track.
Yeah.
You see Sonic, you don't see Alex Kidd, you don't see anyone from Streets of Rage, you don't see Shinobi,
don't see
Joe,
the guy from Altered Beast.
No, not Altered Beast. It's Sonic the Hedgehog.
No, Ilias Thunderhead.
Yeah, there's another racer. I can't remember what it's called, and Sonic is a little ball thing that's hanging from the rear view mirror.
Was that Scud Racer?
No, it's not Scud Racer. I can't remember what it is, but he's hanging down in it. And there was a port of that game on the Saturn anyway. But yeah, so he made cameos here and there, but he proper missed the Sega Saturn. And I was just like, even if it wasn't cool, and I know everyone was going 3D, but you could have just stuck to your guns and said, we're going to make probably the greatest 2D Sonic ever. We have the hardware for it.
Yeah.
Let's build it. And just as a last hurrah, let's see what happens. Because, I mean, I know Mario went 3D and that changed everything. And then they made Dreams. Who cares about Dreams? But even Castlevania had a 2D version on a PlayStation of all things. And it blew up sort of afterwards because I know a lot of critics panned it because it wasn't 3D. But yeah, it's just the fact that he missed, realistically, he wasn't important enough for a whole generation. And he carried on, even when the Saturn was out, I think he still had games, but they was on the 8-bit systems.
Okay.
Yeah, he had a couple games. But yeah, it's just a crying shame. Oh yeah, that's what I wanted to say. My favourite Sonic game. It's Sonic Mania Plus. I think that is
not Sonic 2.
No, because
Sonic 2's praises for years.
Yeah, but they got chemical plants on and they remixed it.
Yeah, they did.
And the backgrounds look even nicer as well. So,
So
yeah,
then, who's your favorite Sonic character?
it's still Sonic. It's still Sonic. Yeah.
I can see why you say
Yeah.
Sonic Mania.
It's just the amalgamation of all the Sonics, of all my
I was
favorite
gonna say- I
Sonics,
was
and
gonna
put
say,
into
yeah.
one. And they seem to take the best bits from every Sonic game. The only negative I probably would be that Sonic's color is the newer Sonic color, that sky blue, which I'm sure in the original he was darker.
He's dark. Yeah, yeah. It's
Yeah, so that's my
colour.
only thing. I know people have done like hacks on PC and stuff like that, mods where he's darker. But apart from that, that is Sonic Mania Plus to me is everything that's great about the sprite-based 2D Sonics.
It's what we would have. It definitely the way that it progressed. Okay, if we take the music and stuff out because they've done their own remixes, that type of stuff back in the day probably would have been music-wise would have been a bit different. But when you look at the smoothness of the animation, there's a lot of the stuff they did. You know, they used a lot of the stuff in Sonic 3 and refined it. But even when he's hanging, kind of
On the rails,
on the monkey bars,
Yeah.
and he's going across. The animation is so smooth because you can see he can do that in the older versions, but it's very the frame rate drops or it's a jerky movement. I'm guessing obviously to cut down on the animation and ultimately the size of the game. But yeah, I mean, obviously it's widescreen as well. You put it on the TV and it's taking up the whole television.
Yeah.
Whatever you play on is native resolution to that machine.
Yeah, it's a lovely looking game. What would I say? I mean, some of the bosses I'm not too keen on the game. I would have loved a sequel to it.
Yeah, I definitely would have loved the sequel to it, and I think you put a clip of what the game would have looked like.
Yes, in one of our groups,
Brought my black heart.
and one of the music from T-Lopes.
Yeah.
And it was just like, really, this is what was going to happen. I can't remember the atrocity of the game that we got instead. Was it Sonic? No, it's not Sonic Colors. It was Sonic. I don't know, but it came out the same month or the same year that Super Mario Wonder and Spider-Man 2 came out, and it was right in between the two. And it was full price, and I was like, Sega, what are you doing? This game don't even look any good. They said it had the momentum from the Sonic Mania Plus, but the game itself is just not good. I'd seen a demo mess around with it, and I was just like, why? Just why? And the fact that it came out on the Switch, obviously the Switch version is not very good of that game. And then Mario Wonder was there, which is quite frankly one of the greatest platform games ever made.
Yeah.
That Sonic game, it was a.
How did that get the green light button? How did that get the green light? But Mania 2, obviously I know it's creative.
I think they wanted it to be 3D. They didn't want pixel graphics because they said it looked too old-fashioned and old school. Which is okay, that's fair enough, because when I saw the one screenshot of what Sonic Mania 2 was, we call it Sonic Mania 2. We don't know what the name was, but that did look much. It reminded me of, I don't know if you've seen the project Sonic 2 HD. It looked like that,
Right.
but better. Yeah. So and that project was only one level, I believe.
Okay.
But it looked as good as that. So it would have been special. It probably would have been all original levels, which would have been fine. I know that's what most people did.
Yeah,
Like,
would have been the progression.
so it would have been nice to see those new levels and see what new ideas that they've got for Sonic. So you wouldn't have had the shackles of the old games, but we never got it, and it was just a crying shame, really.
And the Sonic Mania. I mean, I was in whether we're allowed to use that, but yeah, it's a Sonic game. I don't think anyone would turn around and say, technically this isn't the best Sonic game visually.
Yeah,
I don't think anyone could turn around and say it isn't visually the best. Okay, we're talking 2D Sonic.
Yeah, we're talking 2D.
Unfortunately, I keep comparing them to the Mega Drive one. It was a real love letter.
Yes, it was.
It was, and I think
it wasn't a cash grab.
No,
and the fact that they done the plus afterwards as well to make sure
they took the levels, they improved on the levels. They it very much felt like some of the first zones were closer to the original, and then the second one they went, and you really see that in Chemical.
Yes. Oh my gosh, yeah.
And as you say, you've got the music that comes in. It's like
Even
and
Green,
it just
Green Hill
feels like
Zone,
they're
when you go underground.
yeah, you go
deep,
underground, yeah,
which is really cool.
But they really, it almost feels like the first level they're just kind of keeping themselves, they're
It was a bit
holding
safe,
back a
yeah.
bit, and then they release the shackle, get rid of the shackles in the second part of
And
the zone.
bam.
It's like
Yeah.
music changes,
Yeah, that was crazy. It
to
was
the
just,
point where that boss. I mean, that's how the boss that you fight on Chemical Plant Zone. I
Yeah.
mean, that's totally. It's just a sub game in itself, isn't
yeah.
it?
Professor Mean
Puzzle
Bean,
game.
yeah, and stuff like that. It's just, it is. And I thought that's what I liked. And that's why it annoys me that we didn't get a proper sequel to that.
Yeah.
I would have loved to have seen what they could have done and where they could have gone.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, even if we just look at Sonic Mania, there was obviously that had some stuff in it that people didn't like and wanted changing. And when Sonic Mania Plus came, they did change it, and everyone got the update, whether you bought the DLC. But they changed the gameplay and they updated it for everyone.
Yeah,
So yeah, so I'm a Sonic fan, old school Sonic fan. So I bought Sonic Mania Plus, or the DLC to change it into it.
Yeah.
And yeah, and I loved it. Oddly enough, it's not a game that I play that often because it is that big. But yeah, and I like the two new characters that they put in there. Well, I say new, they're just returning characters. I think they've only ever been in 2 games or 1 game. One of them was an arcade game, and I think the other one was that 32X game that was going to be a Sonic game. It didn't turn out to be a Sonic game.
Okay.
That's where I think the kid, no, not the kid, the purple guy comes from, or the pink guy, yeah. So that's where he comes from. But yeah, it's just a shame how the 2D versions haven't got treated. Oh, not even the 2D versions. The fact that Sonic just went through a horrible period. I think it was end of the PS2. No, not end of the PS2, because PS2 lasted forever. Say end of GameCube, or in between GameCube and 360 era. He had some terrible games, 3D games. And I think that's where my love for Sonic really just went. And I've just like until Sonic Mania came across, because the 3D games, apart from if they reuse stuff like Generations, I thought, okay, that's cool.
Yeah, I like that.
But there was too much stuff which I just did not like.
They're just too focused on the 3D.
Yeah, and
they don't sell very well, do they? The 3D ones. Or
well, they must have done, but some of them were terrible. I think Colors and 06 are the two that people just like, oh God, no. And so yeah, so it was just like, that's all right. But even that, as a spin-off, the racing games that he's in, they're great.
Oh, the new one,
yeah, the Sega
really good.
Racing All Stars or whatever they're called,
Yeah.
that he's in. Those are really. I don't think there's ever been a bad one, really.
No, I liked.
Yeah,
I've had 2 of those
yeah,
games.
and realistically, they're the only alternative to Mario Kart.
Yes,
They're not the same, but they're a very good alternative. So yeah, he's bounced back. He seems to be doing well. Shout out to the 3 movies.
Yes, they were good.
An excellent trilogy. There's going to be a 4th one, I'm thinking.
I think so.
Yeah, I think
there should be.
Yeah,
there's no reason why.
Yeah, but
why not? Do you remember what he originally did look like?
Oh, yeah, that scary one. Oh, by the way, that Sonic made it into a movie. It's in Chippendale.
What?
It is a Chippendale movie. It's a little bit old now, but that scary Sonic made it in there. Everyone should go and watch that Chippendale movie. I think
Is it
it's
a
on
good
Disney
film?
Plus. It actually is a good film.
Oh,
It's a 3D movie. You can think, I've never heard it's from rubbish. It is actually a really good movie because it's technically it's a Chippendale movie, but only one of them is really in it. And Chippendale was a TV show.
yeah, I remember.
And they are the actors from the show, so they're like chipmunks, yeah.
Okay.
But they parted on bad terms, so it's like Hollywood. But think of it as like an alternative to Roger Rabbit. Like the Toons are actual actors.
Yeah.
So you find out what happens, and then they go to one version of their Comic-Con, and you see that Sonic there, and someone goes, "Oh my God, he's real." He goes, "Yeah, I know, I'm ugly Sonic." And he goes, "Yeah, they shown me because I'm hideous. It's not my fault. This is how it's created." Yeah, and no one's going to twist that. No one wants to do autograph or nothing.
Oh no.
Yes, but that actual Sonic is there, and people look at him like,
yeah, it was horrible because there was pure uproar.
Oh, he was.
They had to go back and redo it.
Yeah,
I'm thinking, who thought this was a good idea to make Sonic look like that?
I know. So yeah, but but is there anything else anyone wants to say before we wrap up?
I guess we should probably, I know we've spoken about the 3D ones. We should probably mention that we do know that there's a generation of people who grew up loving, is it Sonic Adventure 1 and 2 on the Dreamcast? So although I didn't kind of play it, and my brother did. And don't want it to sound like I'm, crapping on those games. I do know that they did have their place, and lots of people did love them.
Okay, fair enough. Also, if we're talking about crapping, both Sonic 4 games, parts 1 and 2, they're god awful. They're god awful. They're terrible.
Sonic 4,
yeah, Sonic 4, yeah, for 2D games bad. But all right.
I was gonna quickly say my favorite Sonic character is I probably prefer Knuckles or Tails over Sonic because to me they can go just as fast as him, but they could fly, and Knuckles can climb walls. But I just thought I'd try that in there.
Well, okay. All right then. Well, that's it. I'm out. Hope you all are well. Oh, if you two said to hell with your buys anyway, I'm gonna end the video.
Farewell.